Hey everyone, it's Jess. Today I wasn't planning to make a video and I don't necessarily think it's going to be the happiest videos, but I thought I'd make one anyway because I think it might be, I hope it might be helpful. Just the context for this is, follow me on TikTok. I've got a TikTok now. And I did post a little bit up on it on Instagram, but I recently got this very low variegated Monstera deliciosa. I had a discussion with somebody online. I was wondering if it was the deliciosa or the Borgisana. I got a low variegated, if you can see there. It's got low variegation, white variegation Monstera. And if you guys are in the plant, if you are a plant hobbyist, you'll understand or you'll know that these plants, particularly at cutting, because this is quite big, these plants can be quite expensive. And you can see here, guys, one thing you want to see, you can see the bit of white variegation here. So I got this off a Facebook seller on one of these rare plant Facebook groups. So I was very pleased to have got this plant, but unfortunately it's got root rot and it's got stem rot. I guess, guys, why I wanted to make a video is because I appreciate that for those of us who are plant hobbyists or plant enthusiasts, is we do tend to spend quite a lot on plants, and normally we buy plants from online shops or from sellers, particularly for rarer plants. So normally most of my plants come through sort of private sellers versus at commercial nurseries. So why I wanted to make this video is because I wanted to just share with everyone some tips around purchasing plants online and what are some of the things to keep in mind when you want to purchase a plant, particularly when you are spending quite a bit of money on these rarer plants. So I do want to make sure you're doing all the right steps to be careful in spending your money. I structured this video into 3 parts, so tips covering the seller, tips covering the actual post or the advertisement of the plant, and finally some tips around postage. The first tip I have is around the sellers. So normally where you buy rare plants online, or at least where I get my rare plants online, is through Facebook groups or Instagram, where sellers advertise their rarer plants. And the second place I normally get is through rare plant shops. I haven't bought a plant off eBay before, but that's another place where you might be able to find some rare plants. So as with all purchases online, and the example I use is sellers of secondhand goods, you always want to make sure that your seller is reputable. On Facebook, some sellers and particularly some members who have sold a lot of plants normally have like a little icon next to their name which says that they're a super seller. That is generally a sign that a person is reputable and that the plants that they sell are generally of a high quality. Another way you can check out whether a seller is reputable or not is by searching through their name in various different plant groups or hobby groups, just to see the type of posts they do, the types of plants they've sold in the past, and the types of interactions that they've had with their members, because often if that's all positive, then generally the seller is quite good. Of course, nothing is foolproof, and so a lot of the times you just got to be careful when you are buying some things online. Most serious sellers on Facebook or on eBay or even on Instagram normally have a social media account and in this case Instagram, to advertise some of their plants. So you can also check the plants that they sell to see the quality of their plants. Another thing I do is I also look at who my seller, this is probably a little bit overboard, but who my seller is affiliated with in the plant community, because generally I find that if they are affiliated or if they're friends with somebody in the plant community who's quite well known, then that gives me more comfort that I'm buying from a reputable person and that the plant that they're selling are generally of quite a good quality. This is the same tip that goes through buying plants from online stores, whether it be eBay stores or just online stores. Have a look at the store, see how long it's been running, look at the reviews to see the type of what feedback other customers have had. So always do your research. When it comes to advertising or looking at the particular post plant that's being advertised that you want to buy. A lot of the posts I find follow a standard template or format that's been prescribed by the plant hobby group. So normally sellers who are quite serious definitely follow the prescribed format for their posts. A lot of the admins have specified what a seller should include in their post and a minimum standard for photos. So that's normally where a seller has advertised their plant in a way that meets Facebook group's guidelines. That's a positive sign for me. Another tip I have with advertisements or posts is to definitely look at photos of the plant, because photos gives you as best of an indication of the quality of the plant you're getting. If you are purchasing a smaller plant, so a baby plant or a pup, always ask or check if the seller has photos of the mother plant. Always ask for photos of a root structure. When you're buying cuttings of rarer plants, I would highly recommend you getting a plant that has getting a cutting that has an established root system, because it is going to ensure your plant has the most chance of survival. When it comes to posting tips, of course, you're not going to be the one that's going to be packaging the plant, but your seller should be specifying the medium that the plant is going to be posted in, whether that's, and what I mean by that is normally they specify the medium that they're going to use to package the nodes or the cutting. To see if your seller is willing to post a cutting to you or a plant to you in a pot, because if they are, then that reduces the stress your plant has to go through, because the seller hasn't needed to disturb the plant or take it out of its pot and then stress it out when it's packaging it. One thing to keep in mind is posting with a pot is normally going to be a little bit more expensive because the package is a little bit heavier. Another tip I have related to postage is see if your seller is willing to offer insurance for your post, because and this is particularly where you're spending a substantial sum on a rarer plant. Spending a couple more dollars on insurance, I think, is a sensible thing to do, because you are ensuring that if anything does go wrong with your plant, it is protected through insurance. Always ask your seller if they can do express post, because express post, one, it ensures that the plant can get to you quicker, particularly because it is a living organism, and two, reduces the amount of time your plant is going to be in stress. Normally the practice, at least I've seen, and what I ask my sellers to do, is to post the plant on a Monday or a Tuesday with express post, because that reduces the risk of your plant having to sit in a post office over the weekend. So yeah guys, I think that's most of the tips I had. Again, this is probably a more rambly video and one that I hadn't planned that much, but I don't know, I just got a little bit upset and I don't want anyone to go through a similar circumstance. I was so excited to get a cutting this big, and I thought I got quite a good deal of with it, but it's just a shame that it looks like she's got root rot and it's like she's got some stem rot. I don't know if I'm able to save her. I'm trying. So what I did this morning, double checked her root structure, and I was trying to wash off most of the dirt, and as I was washing off, her root structure was just falling apart. And I took a video on my Instagram, so I might insert that footage here, but you can see that the roots are just falling apart, and it's pretty bad root rot. So this is all that's left. I don't know if she's able to survive with this, and her remaining roots are not healthy. They don't look great, but I'm kind of hanging on to this. There's this little bit right here, which I'm hoping she's able to grow from. Guys, the other terrible thing is that she's also got stem rot, and stem rot is where the stem is just black, and unfortunately it's black on both sides. It's pretty bad. Again, earlier today when I was checking her and I realized she had stem rot, I cut off the black bits. I'll insert the Instagram video here, but you can see that there's quite bad stem rot, and when I first cut it, it's white, but then it just, the darkness takes over. So guys, I mean, I'm normally quite good with being able to treat root rot. I think I've proven to myself that I'm okay with being able to treat plants for root rot. But stem rot is another game, guys, particularly look how bad it is. I haven't really dealt with stem rot before, so I'm just hoping I'm able to treat her pretty well. Some people on Instagram have suggested using Kill Spot, which I think is an antifungal spray, and it's particularly good for treating stem rot, so I might give that a go. Oh, I'm a bit sad. I did this video also as sort of have a video where I could appreciate her. She's quite beautiful. Look at this beautiful leaf, and you can see the variegation underneath. But guys, if you do have any questions or tips, if you do have any tips about treating root rot, please let me know. Happy rare plant collecting. Oh look, can you guys see the variegation? So pretty. Happy plant purchasing. Be careful when you buy stuff online. And yeah guys, I hope I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!